Hello everyone, hope you're all having a lovely day today. So if you guys remember in my last video or the video prior, I can't remember which one, I said how I wanted to make a video on how I write papers in grad school and also how I wrote most of my papers in undergrad, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't just sit down and write a paper. It does not work for me. I can't just sit down and like type. No. But I found a new way to write papers. I'm pretty sure I didn't make this up myself. I'm pretty sure there are probably other people who have been doing this before me, but I just wanted to share with you guys how I write papers efficiently, quickly, and still make them sort of sound good. So the first thing that you will need is your cell phone, which I would hold up normally, but I'm using it to record this video. So we can just pretend that this remote is a cell phone. You'll need a cell phone. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is to, first off, know what the heck it is that you're writing about, because the last thing you want to do is to write a huge paper and waste all this time writing about the wrong thing or the wrong topic. Definitely know what it is that you're supposed to be looking for so that when you're reading the book or the journal article or whatever it is that you're, using to research. I'm in the psych field. I'm a counseling student, so most of my papers are just research papers or summaries. Obviously, this technique you can use for pretty much anything. Like I was saying before, really make sure that you know what it is that you're supposed to be writing about so that when you're, like I said, reading the book or the journal article, you know what it is that you're looking for. Second thing is to plan out your paper. Spend more time like planning out your paper than actually writing it. These are all of my notes from the last paper I just wrote, and there's still more. Obviously, you might not have time to read everything in the utmost detail, especially if you're cramming. I highly recommend don't cramming. I know that there are some people that perform better when they're under pressure. I was literally just talking about it with one of my coworkers the other day, and she was like, yeah, I'm that kind of person where at the last second, I just go on full power mode, whatever you want to call it, super motivated, and just spend the whole night writing it. If that's what works for you, then by all means, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But this definitely helped me. So take as many notes as you can, spend so much time planning the actual paper so that when it comes to actually writing it, you already have the material in your head and you can just kind of roll with it. Now, after you have your notes, kind of try to get like a skeleton of how you want to organize your paper. You don't even have to spend so much time like writing it out. You could literally just be like, okay, like in this section, I just want to talk about specifically this. In this section, I want to talk about specifically that. You don't, like I said, you don't even have to write that much detail. Just be like, okay, here, etc. Now that you've planned everything out, when it comes to actually writing the paper, something that I've done, and this I did a lot more in undergrad than I have now, although I just did it for my last paper, which I literally just handed in 2 days ago. In the Notes app on your phone or the Google Docs app, I guess. I use Notes, although I know other people use Google Docs so that it instantly gets saved. Either or works for you. With Notes, I did have one time where I accidentally erased everything, but luckily I hit copy before I erased it, so the paper was still in my little clipboard. But on either app, whichever one you choose to use, audio keyboard, and just speak what you want to type. I did this almost all the time in undergrad, where I would just, like I said, plan out my paper, know how I wanted it to go, know how I wanted it to sound, and when I held my phone, I would just speak like this and this and this and that. Just try to get a skeleton. Like I said, it can even be bullet points just so that you have it on paper or in the machine typed, because obviously typing takes a lot of time and energy, and sometimes it can be really hard to do that. But another reason why I recommend doing it on your phone is because then you have it with you at all times. I will sometimes have moments where I will just be out, or I remember literally one time in undergrad, I think I was literally at a bar or something with some of my friends, and I had a thought, I had a sudden inspiration for a part of my paper, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I pulled out my phone and just started typing it while I was literally sitting at the bar. You have it with you wherever you go. So I don't know, I highly recommend kind of doing it on your phone if you're someone who isn't really about that. Like I said, to each their own. When it comes to writing a paper, there really is no one size fits all. It's whatever works best for you, but these are just what worked for me. So yes, on your phone, have it everywhere you go. Type and talk it, text it, whatever you want to do. Now, if you're writing a research paper and it comes down to citations, what I will do is, instead of, unless I know how to do the specific citation right off my head, for example, Like I said, I'm a counseling student, so whenever I want to cite something from, the ACA Code of Ethics, the citation is in parentheses, American Counseling Association, 2014, ACA Code of Ethics. And that's like the only one I know off the top of my head, and the King James Bible. But if you do not know what specifically it is that you are citing, I would highly recommend then just writing in big, like in all caps, in a parentheses, citation, and then whoever the author is or whatever specific citation it is that you're about to cite, so that when you go back, you have it later. And so now when it comes to, going back and editing your paper, like I said, after you have the skeleton done, whether it's typing it or talking it, send it to your email. I'll literally just send it from my phone to my email address. I'll go on my laptop, I'll pull it up, I'll copy and paste it into Microsoft Word, and I'll just go back and just edit it that way. Now when it comes down to sources and references, so like I said, counseling student APA format is usually what we use, and so, references are a very specific way. Also, the references that I did before, those were all APA format. I can't remember if it's different if you're using Chicago or MLA or any of that kind of stuff. So depending on what your major is or what you're going to school for, take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, when it comes down to references after you've edited your paper and you have the references at the bottom, I highly recommend doing all of those references first so that you have the, all the citations. And then when you go back into your paper, I'm so sorry I'm like talking in circles, bear with me. After you have your references page done, you can go back into your paper where you will have, in the parentheses, citation, and then whatever the author or whatever the specific citation is, and then just copy and paste, from your references, go back and just copy and paste them and basically do all those last. And then once you've done one final sweep of your paper, like I said, I usually will add the cover page and the abstract at the end. Oh my gosh, huge thing. Oh gosh, I might have to copy and paste this and put it towards the beginning, but when you're writing, if you are stuck on the introduction, move on to those body paragraphs. I always write body paragraphs first I will literally write the introduction at the very end because sometimes your paper will take a different turn of where you intend it to go. So write your body paragraphs first. In the beginning, it can be very hard to write. So once you get your body paragraphs done and you kind of have your paper in your head and you know what exactly it is that you've just written about, then you can go and do the introduction. So that's another thing, little quick tip. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. Dang it. Hopefully you're still watching. So like I said, after you do your final sweep, which I sometimes forget to do, not gonna lie, but if you used audio keyboard, make sure you do that final sweep because there are so many times where I will say one word and it thinks it's a different word. And then once you've done your final sweep, you should be all good to submit. So I really hope this video helped whoever needed to hear this. It was very different than my usual videos. As you guys know, if you watch my channel regularly, I usually just do faith-based videos, but this is a video that I've been wanting to make to help out any other students out there like myself. If you guys ever have any comments, questions, or concerns, do not ever hesitate to leave me a comment down below or shoot me an email at my email address. Also, prayer requests, leave those down below as well. Also, I have an Instagram for this channel where I give little updates about my channel and I make little artistic Bible verses, or like I said, I literally just take a picture and try to make it look all nice and pretty. If you want to follow that, that'll be down here as well. And as always, have a lovely rest of your day and God bless.